Good day, class. This is your instructor once again, Mr. Jenner Pandan, and today we will be talking about the module 2.2, the classical theory. So moving on, classical theory. This is on the year 1764 by 16 to 18th centuries. The basis of this theory is the rational choice, maximization of happiness, utilitarianism, and deterrence. The theorists are Cesare Beccaria, Jeremy Bentham, Ludwig Feuerbach, and John Stuart Mill. The school of thought, this is the classical criminology. This origin of this theory, this classical theory is a product of the Enlightenment in 1764. Cesare Beccaria, it was an essay on crimes and punishment, set forth classical criminological theory. So this is the history of this classical theory. So the branches, we have 5 branches of classical theory. We have the rational choice theory, the neoclassical theory, the utilitarianism theory, the routine activities theory, and the deterrence theory. So I will not be discussing about the branches of theory because later on I will give you an bring home activity, regarding the different characteristics of these branches of classical theory. So let's move on to idea of the classical theory. The theory is based on the assumptions that people exercise free will and are thus completely responsible for their actions. So what is free will? Free will, this is a characteristics of a human that has the capacity to decide whether it is right or wrong. So even if the action is wrong in the eyes of the other people, if still you're doing this, and we call it that is your free will to do. So that's the explanation of free will. So every man has its free will. In classical theory, human behavior, including criminal behavior, is motivated by hedonistic rationality, in which actors weigh the potential pleasure of an action against the possible pain associated with it. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, yung action na ginawa ng tao, even we know that is painful for us, still we are doing all those actions. Why? It's because that is part of a human that we have all, we call it free will, or this hedonistic rationality. So free will, as its definition, in humans, the power of or capacity to choose among alternatives or to act in certain situations independently of natural, social, or divine restraints. So this is free will. So lahat ng tao ay meron tayong tinatawag na free will. So example, mayroong pinagbabawal ang batas na yung bawal tayong lumabas because there is a danger outside of our house or our home regarding this pandemic. So but because that humans has free will, even they know that there is a danger that may cause them pain, still they go outside because that's the choice. That's their choice. So that is free will. Free will is denied by some proponents of determinism. Arguments for free will are based on the subjective experience of freedom. So what's the difference Now, there is some confusion about the difference between free will and freedom. Freedom, this is a beyond the limit of this is within the limit of our laws. We have our, that is freedom, meaning that is it is the actions of a human that that is within the law. So meaning pag ginawa mong bagay na yan na naayon sa batas, that is your freedom. For example, hindi naman pinagbabawal sa batas, sa ligang batas natin, yung paghayag ng ating saloobin sa gobyerno, sa ibang tao, basta naayon lang doon sa limit ng batas. Kung ito'y lumabag sa ligang batas, ay hindi niya kabilang sa freedom. So pag ginawa mo yan, ang tawag dyan, that is free will. So yun ang pinagkaiba ng freedom at saka ng free will. Okay, so to continue, on sentiments of guilt, on revealed religion, and on the universal supposition of responsibility for personal actions that underlies the concepts of law, reward, punishment, and incentives. For additional discussion of free will, see moral responsibility. Excuse me. For additional discussion of free will and determinism, see moral responsibility problem of. Criminals weigh assess the costs and benefits and makes a conscious, rational choice to commit crime, maximization of pleasure and minimization of pains. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, that yung criminals can assess the cost of benefits. Ibig sabihin nun, kung gagawin mo itong bagay na to, alam mo talaga that there is a consequence of your action. So, since that is the rational choice of a human being to commit crime, so that is what we call is the pleasure. Okay, that is your pleasure. Okay, but sa consequence ng pleasure ay meron niyang pain. So, saan napunta yung pain? The pain may be on the victim and even in yourself. After satisfying your pleasure, kasi once na-commit mo ng crime, that is yung pleasure nandoon. So, kasi that is intention. Halimbawa, your intention is to kill that person. So, once you kill it, nakita mo na napatay mo siya on that moment, now the pleasure is maximizing. But later on after, because there is a part of your characteristics of the human na meron kang maramdaman na pain after all. Lalo na kasi yun yung pagbaba ng pagbaba ng pleasure. So there's always a pleasure and pain. Tulad naman yan, it's simple example that yung emotions ng tao ay when there is a peak of emotion na masaya ka and you are very happy, may mga situation na nagbibigay ng paging masaya mo, naging masaya ka, but some other situation is you feel sad, lonely, malungkot ka. So in short, that the cycle of emotions is dynamic. So ganon din yung criminal actions is always a dynamic, meaning pag trigger ng emotions, which is the anger, and then there is then nakakabuo na ng yung anger mo, nakakabuo na ng intention, motivation to commit crime. Once na fulfill mo yung crime, it will be your pleasure, the pleasure of that criminal action. But later on, the pain will also be felt by the criminal itself. And how? Most of the offender is will be having a feelings of guilt, yun bang nagi-guilty. So that is already a pain. So yun. Moving on, human beings have free will to choose legal or illegal behavior. Yun na nga, yung tao ay meron talagang free will to choose legal or illegal behavior. Alam ng tao na illegal yung behavior, still ginagawa pa rin because that is, we call it free will. The free will to choose. So, iba din yung freedom. Pag freedom kasi, that is within the limits of the law. Okay? A crime is committed after individual weighs the pros and cons. So there is an additional input here of this idea of the classical theory that crime is attractive. When we say crime is attractive, because there is a limitation of the law, beyond the law, that is a crime, we know already that. But beyond the law, it is an attractive to an individual to go beyond it. Why? Dahil yun na nga, babalik na sa previous na in-explain ko as yung tinatawag na yung pleasure and pain. Why crime is attractive? Because it fulfill the intention of the criminal behavior or criminal action, but not the person itself. Kasi the person itself can feel either pleasure and pain. Yun na nga, after mo nakuha yung gusto mo, later on you can feel guilt feelings. So ganon yan. That is why yung tao ay usually pag nagkawa ng kasalanan ay later on ay maramdaman niya na kanyang pagsisisihan. So yun yung explanation ng tinatawag nating classical theory. Crime, control, and punishment, the basis of the society, as well as the origin of punishments, and the right to punish is the social contract. So, since that, yun na nga, because the crime is attractive, the free will existing sa isang tao na kahit merong batas ay gagawa pa rin siya ng choice niya to commit it because that is the pleasure. So, in order to control the pleasure, meron tayong tinatawag ngayong punishment. So, itong yung basis ng society in order to limit the free will. Magkakaroon na ngayon ng boundary yung free will. So, kaya nga, the pleasure of the criminal action will be turned into a pain. It's because there is already a punishment that is given by the society. Kung babalik tayo doon sa principle ng batas, yung tawag natin ng nullum crimen, nulla puna sine lege, ibig sabihin nun, there is no crime when there is no law punishing it. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung action mo na that is a violation to the moral of the society is still not considered as a crime. But when there is already a law that certain action is being limited now, if you still commit it now, that will be called a crime. That action, that wrongful action is already a crime. Okay, I hope that it is clear for you to understand it. Crime may be controlled through the fear of punishment. So ito yung idea ng classical theory that it can be controlled by punishment. So what is the basis of this idea? Maybe kinuha ito sa the ancient na principles ng tinatawag natin na yung the law of vengeance, Code of Hammurabi, if I remember. Yeah. Code of Hammurabi. That is the eye for an eye, tooth for the tooth. Ibig sabihin nun, once you commit it, example, nakapatay ka ng isang tao, in order to pay your pleasure, the pain will be a corresponding of your death. So yun yung explanation. So but in lighter way, but in this idea, yung krimen daw ay kayang kontrolin ng takot sa punishment. Yun yung idea ng classical theory. Dahil daw pag nakakakita ka na ng tao na na-commit ng krimen at nakita mong naparusahan, nakita mo yung pain, the pain of that person, you will be absorbed. Ma-absorb mo yung pain niya. So ito yun yung basis mo na hindi ka nakukommit ng the same na ginawa ng tao na yun dahil takot ka doon sa nakikita mong punishment. So yun yung explanation ng theory na to. Moving on, punishment works best when perceived to be. Yes, ito na yung dati. Ang punishment daw, it will works kung makikita ng ibang tao. So that is why noon, kung ikaw ay papurusahan, ay nandoon sa public. Tulad ng pupugutan ka ng ulo, nandoon yan sa public. So that, pag nakikita ng public, ng tao, ay it will create fear, an emotion of fear to the person who saw the punishment. So ito na yung magpipigil sa kanya na wag nang gumawa ng the same na ginawa ng tao na yon dahil sa takot niya sa punishment. So yun daw magiging ano lang daw yan, magiging effective yung punishment kung nakikita. Okay? The only legitimate purpose of punishment is deterrence. So what is the meaning of deterrence? Deterrence is to prevent your action, okay, to prevent a person to commit an action that is beyond the limit of the law. To deter ba? Ibig sabihin, mapipigilan mo yung we cannot prevent the crime because of we call it the free will. But ngayon, since na yung punishment ay, alam mo yung punishment, nakikita mo yung punishment sa ibang tao, ito ngayon ang magdideter, magpiprevent sa isang tao ngayon, sa pagpiprevent sa'yo, na gagawin mong action na yon para hindi ka na mapaparusahan. Kasi alam mo yung parusa ay severe. Ibig sabihin, depende yan sa society kung ano yung parusa ng isang action na yan. Halimbawa, kung rape, ni-rape mong isang babae, so gumawa ang society ng batas na yung action na yon ay ang parusa ay pupugutan ka ng ulo. Tapos, before ka pupugutan, papahirapan ka. Lalaplusin ka, so ganun. In public. So, iba din yung but if you will ask that bakit hindi na yan ngayon, is because mayroon kasi yung mga effect to the society, yung pag-public yung public punishment. So, I hope it is clear that the legitimate purpose of punishment is only a deterrence to deter your action to commit it, the same. An effective policy or law, punishment should provide the greatest happiness shared by the greatest number. So, yun na nga, ang batas daw, kailangan, ang makaka-enjoy nito yung karamihan kumpara sa ilan. So, for example is, yung manggahasa ka ng minor na edad, that is best example. That is a very painful to the society, to the family, sa karamihan. That is inhuman, yung violence na ginawa mo. So pag naparusahan ka bilang isang offender, so it will create unhappiness to the whole society. How? So ngayon, dahil nakikita nila na there is already a punishment sa ganun action, maging kampante ngayon ang mga kababaihan na hindi na siya maulit. Kasi alam nila na the people or the man, yung mga lalaki ay their knowledge, or they call it carnal knowledge or intention to commit that wrongful action ay mapipigilan ngayon dahil sa punishment. So, yun yung definition o ibig sabihin ng classical theory. In order to control crime and punishment based on the classical theory. So, yun. So, the critics of this theory, under the theory, juveniles are treated the same as adults. Yun na nga, dito kasi sa theory na to ay kung ang offender ay adult at saka young, ay the same yung parusa. Likewise, first-time offenders are treated the same as recidivists. Yung una mong nakomit at saka yung recidivist ay the same lang yung parusa. Kasi nga, ang binibase na dito ay yung action na ginawa mo. Halimbawa, nakapatay ka, hindi mo naman sinadya. Yung isa naman, paulit-ulit na siyang pumatay. But, in this theory, the same yung parusa. Kasi binibase lang nila yung parusa doon sa action na nakomit. Hindi sila binibase doon sa tao, sa personality ng tao na nag-commit ng krimen. So, yun lang yung nagiging loophole ng theory na to. Besides, the theory focus on the actus reus and ignoramus rei. Actus reus, meaning, is commonly defined as criminal act that was the result of voluntary bodily movement. It describes a physical activity that harms another person or damages property. Actus reus, ito yung ikaw mismo nag-volunteer on that movement or action. We call it actus reus. Okay, so doon lang nagtatapos yung module 2.2, but as I have said while ago that I will be giving you an home activity, and later on